In this video, we are going to go over the scatterplot classwork. You can view this as your study guide for the scatterplot assessment later this week. So it says find f of 3 for f of x equals negative 2x squared minus 4. So that f of 3 stands for x equals 3. So you're just going to plug in the 3 into the parentheses. And then you're just going to do order of operations or just put it in the calculator. So I'm going to put all of that information in the calculator. And the calculator gives me negative 22. How they did that? 3 squared is 9. 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. Take away 4 is the negative 22. Please, if you feel like you are going to get confused with the order of operations or anything like that, just put it in the calculator. This is all the work I need. Notice I did not do anything with the f of 3. That is just telling your reader that you input 3 and you output negative 22. Now for the next one, we're going to put negative 2 in. So then f of negative 2 gets you 1. Reason why? 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 plus 9 is 1. Now this is the chart that you should pay attention to for the third and fourth slide. We're talking about correlation coefficient. So negative 1 to 1. The closer to 1, the stronger it is. Closer to negative 1, the stronger a negative correlation can be. Now for matching, if you use that number line, so we have 1, we have negative 1, 0. You want to kind of match these numbers up. So that would be close to negative 1. The negative would be between 0 and negative 0.5. This one is super duper duper small, so that's close to 0. This one is close to 0, but it's positive. It's closer to 0.5, so it's in the weak range. And then we have a strong, so it's close to 1. So then we can match these up. No correlation, since it's so very, very close to 0. That can't happen. No correlation. Weak negative falls in this range. All right. Weak positive. Strong negative because it's close to negative 1. And then strong positive because it's close to positive 1. Now for the next slide. Negative correlation is like it's going downhill. Positive correlation looks like the graph is going uphill. And then no correlation is when all the points are scattered all over the place and you can't tell if it's going up or down. Now for this screen, I'm just going to take a picture of the table. As soon as I erase this. And then I'm going to transfer the information over to the next screen. So this is very similar to what you're going to do on the test. Now I like to enter all of my x's first and then go do all my y's. It's up to you. Now I entered 1 again, so I'm going to delete that. You always want to double check to make sure your inputs and outputs are correct, because one small mistake is going to skew your data. All right. So if you look here, this is the information that you're going to use. So this is the information that you need. You're going to use the R in the next slide. You're going to use the M and the B. Now, some of you are struggling with rounding. Please round to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 numbers after the decimal. So you should have 2 numbers after the decimal. Please don't round any more than that because it's going to change your data. So we're going to go to the next slide. So my M from the first slide. Looks like I forgot to take a picture. All right. All right, so it's going to be y equals negative 1.3, and then I'm going to round up to 9 because the third number was bigger than 5, or 5 or bigger than 6.82. So it says on the previous slide, what was the R value? The R value here was negative 0.82. What type of correlation is it? So it's a strong negative correlation because it's close to negative 1. Now for number 8, you want to use the same equation that we used up there. So I wrote, this is our trend line. Now it says to plug in 14, so I'm going to plug in 14 for my x value. And I'm going to let the calculator do the work for me. So even though it does not say f of x, y is the same thing. So let the calculator do it. And you may get a slightly different answer depending on what your calculator did. But I got negative 12.5. So if it's a little bit off, that's fine. It just means you rounded differently. Now for this table, Desmos does not allow me to fix mistakes that I made in my lesson. So each of these slides I made. So if you are using this table, I need you to just copy this down on paper because I know you can't write on the screen. But I need you to put these points, 5, 8, and 7, 6, in your slide number 10. If you don't add these ordered pairs right here, Desmos won't give you an M and it won't give you an R. So that was my mistake. I just can't fix it because Desmos won't let me. So let's put in our new table. So that was the table that I gave you, and now I'm putting 5 and 7 in because I'm asking you to do that. That was, don't go too quickly like I did, and then add 8 and 6 in for me. So then this is going to give you your M and your B value. If you don't make those corrections, it's not going to be correct. It's not going to give you an M or a B. All right, using the previous slide, we're going to write in our trend line. So y equals 0.87x plus 0.9. Notice that it says 2 numbers after the decimal, and there's no number after the decimal. Totally fine. 1 will be fine. 1 digit after the decimal will be fine. So then R equals 0.73. So this is a strong positive. because it's close to 1, or you can write it's between 0.5 and 1 on the number line, totally fine. And then for this problem, you're going to use the same equation from the up above question. But now you're going to plug 14 in, and you're going to let your calculator do the work for you. Especially with these decimals, I don't need you to show me every step. I just need to know where to plug in. So 0.89 times 14 plus 0.9. So you get y equals 13.36. And then for the next slide, we're going to do the exact same thing. Just trying to get you guys into the habit of being able to do this. I apologize, I have no idea why the table is that big. All right. Let's take a picture so we can transfer it. All right. So once again, just like we did in the previous slides, -2, 3, 4, 6, 6, 5. Just confirm. Notice how you only see about 2 points. You just want to move your screen over, zoom out until you see all of the data points. So if you're afraid that it's not graphing, it really is. It's just out of your window. So you just have to adjust Desmos window. All right, so from the previous slide, I have y equals 0.72x plus 4.69. The R value is 0.84, so that looks like another strong positive correlation. And then you're going to plug in 14 for this equation. So we have y equals the 0.72x plus 4.69, put in 14. And let the calculator do the work, even with decimals. 0.72 times 14 plus 469. So then you're going to get y equals 14.77. So if you have any questions on this video, let me know. I'm here for you. Your test is going to be very similar. It's just your test will be in Schoology, but you will sign in to Desmos and show your work on there as well, just like you have been for the last week.